It was very empowering for me to hear and to witness, as an Ahousaht member, my chiefs stand and make a declaration such as they did tonight, to declare their authority, to declare their hereditary rights over their Hahotli. So just to witness and to observe that is encouraging to me. To hear that their guidance comes from the mustrum, from those of us who are the community members, and that a referendum will be put into place is promising to me that we have an opportunity as a community to raise more awareness on the true issues behind mining, on the true issues behind resource extraction in general when it comes to Clayoquot Sound, to Tla-o-qui specifically. Our people have endured a lot of pain. Our people have endured too much pain. Over the last 234 years, since a relationship has been forming itself between Coas and Mamachni, very little conversation has happened between the cultures to really dig deeper and explore and nurture and celebrate the strengths that Coas culture and identity brings to us as a whole. Our people are people of the land and of the water. We are closely connected. Our concept of Hishukish Tsawak, everything being one and interconnected, has a deep significance to us as individuals and as families and as communities. We understand and appreciate that there's a spirit in the land. There's a spirit in all that surrounds us. And we are but one spirit, the humans, that are surrounded by many other spirits that share this particular space with us. And each of you are a spirit that shares this space with us as well. So we are all people of the land. We are all people of this land. We share this space together. And I feel that it's extremely important for us. We heard the chief speak earlier and talk about the wealth that we have as a people. And this cannot be more true. The fact that there are outside interest groups such as Imperial who have a different perspective perhaps on wealth, who recognize that there is something in our territory that is special, we also understand that and have cherished that since time immemorial. The fact that there's financial opportunities that are to be found deep within the mountains is but one small little tiny piece of the wealth that we hold as a people. The true wealth that we hold comes from the land itself and our connection and our relationship with it. The foods that we eat, the spiritual practices that we practice, the way of life that we've forged for our people over thousands of years is the true strength that we hold as Coas, as First Nations peoples. And we have been deprived of this. We have had this ripped away from us. And in replacement, we've had resource-based industries come and trample over our rights and trample over our lands and cause a lot of damage to that way of life of all of the spirits that make up this land, and not only us as Coas, but to the animals and to the trees and to the water and to the air, to all of the living life around us. And so I really strongly believe that we are at a very crucial point as a people, not only us as First Nations peoples, but all of us as humans that share this space together, that we are at a crucial tipping point, that we can move into two separate directions. One is we continue down a downward spiral of self-destruction, and we've witnessed firsthand, especially those of us First Nations peoples in our communities, have witnessed firsthand the self-destructive nature of this cycle that has been introduced, that has replaced our way of life. But I, as one single Ahousaht member speaking, am opposed to mining. I'm opposed to mining in my particular area because as a family, as a father, I have connected with my territory, with the chief's Hahotli. We are one of the families that live at the base of Tla-o-qui-at. We get our supply of foods and medicines. My children are raised on the territory to learn to have that harmony with nature, to interact as spirit to spirit and not to have any control or ownership over the land around us, but instead to cherish and value the gifts that we have received from our ancestors and from our Creator. And so I really believe that that crucial point that we are at as a people is a movement towards healing. It's a movement towards growth and development as a people. As I mentioned, over the last 234 years, there's been very little conversation between cultures to learn more about us as Nuu-chah-nulth. And only recently have we had opportunities to sit at tables where decisions are made that impact us as a people. So now we have an opportunity that's before us. We have an opportunity to come together, to unify, to find a shared voice, to be able to walk in harmony with one another towards a future that we design for ourselves, not one that's prescribed for us by people in Ottawa or Victoria, but one that is designed by our Hutwith, one that's designed by all of you in this room and those that are not represented, or those that are not present but are represented by you. We share a responsibility. We share a responsibility for our next generations and those generations yet to come. And the price of taking a sacred space such as Tla-o-qui-at and for the temporary replacement of jobs and employment is not enough. It's not enough for us to buy into. My concern is that the corporations that are out there that do see the dollar signs out of this, that we have to, as Ahousaht members, as Clayoquot members, as residents of Tofino and this area, we have to arm ourselves with knowledge. We have to equip ourselves and our people with the truth. And the truth isn't always what's being fed to us through media or through other sources. Sometimes we have to dig deeper for that truth. And my own personal truth comes from my connection to the land. By taking my children out and my family out and being on the land, we can experience firsthand for ourselves what we have that is valuable to us. And also, on the other hand, what can potentially be taken away from us as well. So we are deeply concerned. We're deeply concerned that, number one, that there's potential for a mine to be in operation in our territory. And I would like to challenge our leadership, Native and non-Native alike, to not only work towards having equality, as my chiefs had so eloquently stated earlier that we are striving toward, but to go even beyond that. Instead of just looking for equality with the rest of Canada, we should be leading the way. We are innovators of change. We have an opportunity that's before us to modify the way that mining happens in this particular country. We have an opportunity to change the way that resources are looked at in our chiefs' hahotli and in our own backyards. And so when we look at the successes that we've had specifically in this area, we've had an opportunity as a people when we come together to be able to change the way that forestry is practiced in our territories. And we've witnessed this with the Clayoquot Sound Scientific Panel and other efforts that have been put into place to ensure that responsible practices are designed and implemented. We see now that the fisheries case that many of the Nuu-chah-nulth nations have been a part of and have been victorious in the Canadian court system with are remodeling or changing the way that fisheries is practiced in our waters, and we are an integral part of that. And so again, to each of you, I suggest that we have the strength within ourselves as a collective, if we can find innovative and creative ways to pull ourselves together, to find a shared voice, to walk in harmony with one another towards a shared goal and vision of a world that we craft for ourselves, that nothing is impossible. And it will truly be the young children, such as my daughter, that mining corporations like Imperial Metals will have to go through and be accountable to, because it's our future that's at stake. And there's nothing that can stop us once we mobilize our efforts and find a way to be more united. And this is something that has been developing and needs to be developed even more. So again, I'd say thank you to all of you, Ushak-shklets, for being here tonight, for sharing your time, for sharing your energy and your presence to learn more, to share more, to hear the panelists that had the information to share. This by no means is the final point of this conversation. In fact, this conversation tonight needs to continue. It needs to have each of you part of it as we keep moving forward. And we need to have more of the people that are not present here tonight part of those conversations. So thank you very much. Chu, Ushak-shklets.